So what we will do is start with the Chariot card on the left. So the Chariot, being a major arcana, represents a lot of different perspectives, and I think you can see that when you look at the white and the black of the horse. So kind of yin yang, male, female, black, white. It tells us that there's balance to be had, and when balance and harmony are flowing in life, we get more movement, and the Chariot is a card of movement. He's got control of the horses, but without needing to utilize a great deal of strength. So his power comes from many different sources: intellectual, emotional, cosmic, spiritual. We see a lot of moons in the card. We see 3 moons here, so we can sometimes associate the Chariot with the moon energy or eclipses that have been or gone as well. So this Chariot might be referencing events that could have taken place earlier in the year when the eclipses were out. They could also be signaling a move one way or another. Sometimes this has to do with cars. Some of you may be going on a road trip or buying a new car, or you may even have problems with your own vehicle. It doesn't just have to be a car either. It's whatever is your personal mode of transport. The other thing, it can also represent shifting homes occasionally. So with that, let's take a little look at some clarifiers for you. The Chariot does generally represent success. It represents masculinity. It represents power. It can represent sexuality and sexual attraction and magnetism as well. So kind of a powerful card to start. It also represents the zodiac sign Cancer. So for some of you, this could possibly be something to do with a Cancer partner or potential partner, or someone coming into your life along those lines as well. Let's see, this is the clarifier for Cancer for the Chariot. Woman holding a heart. So some of you might be traveling to see a lady who you are interested in, or there might be a female presence involved in this one way or another. The holding of the heart can be romantic, and she does look quite romantic there, I must admit. So there could be some forming of a new relationship, or taking a current relationship to a better position, or a more heightened awareness, or a better connection, or a spiritual connection when it was previously, on the more 3D type plane. This could be becoming a more deeply committed or deeply emotional relationship as well. And again, as I say, it could involve a Cancer. This doesn't have to be a man here. This could be yourself if you are a female, emulating power and passion and movement. Or it could be, for those of you who are female, this might be you, and you might be finding yourself attracted to this one as well. Some of you might be moving to be closer to this woman in the heart, and she could be like a good friend as well, or a family member. So it doesn't have to be just a romantic relationship. Let us pull one more from there, and I won't even shuffle, I'll just pull the next one. Oh wow, my God, when the universe transpires to make things apparent and obvious, it does it really, really well. What is that? That is amazing. The black and white horses, and these ones are, well, they're both running because these horses' legs are high in action, just as are these. So I think it's a very similar card, but it is telling you that there is action around this. Something is taking place, probably that has to do with your heart, if nothing else. So it's something you're very passionate about. It's something that has gathered energy in your heart space. It could be a romantic relationship. Alternatively, it could be other relationships. There could be movement. Some of you will be moving. If this is not in terms of a physical movement, this is more like meaning movement of the relationship or movement within the relationship. It is activated. Something powerful is happening. So I think those 3 cards are a great way for you to start the relationship. They bode much movement in the month of April. Quite positive movement, excitement, powerful and strong. I love those 3 cards together. We come to the High Priestess, and again she has the moon at the base of her feet. She is known for her esoteric knowledge, and and also at the top of her head. So again, we could be talking ecliptical energy. Some of you might have been starting a project or met someone back at the beginning of the year, or put plans into action about things you were going to do as the year moved on, and these actions could be taking place now. Sometimes this high priestess represents our desire to obtain greater information or knowledge in our life so we can go on a learning curve ourselves. She does represent the moon quite often, which is very feminine. It's also about our emotions and intuition. Another thing about her is she is known as quite often being very sexually, not provocative, but attractive. So when she's around, this can be a time of fertility as well as sexual attraction, and people might be attracted to her. So there's a great abundance of partnerships and attraction going on right here at the moment for some of you. As I said, if you're already in a romantic relationship that you're very happy with, then this could be about fostering it and having it grow deeper and stronger. So let's see what the High Priestess has as a clarifier. This is from the John Holland deck for Gemini, clarifier for Gemini. One more. Clarifier for the High Priestess. Wow, this is the Fool, the new beginnings, another major arcana card. The Fool tells us about going on an adventure that's very important for ourselves. And again, this is movement, so new beginnings. There's the Chariot again. He'd popped out down to the bottom of this, and he is moving forward. And he does, as I said, he has movement at many different areas of his life. It can be physical, metaphysical, spiritual, emotional, healing, becoming fitter, moving through health issues. Same with the Fool. The Fool talks about us going on our own journey and that we are the most important person in our life at the moment. Profoundly strong in many terms, these two cards coming together, because she is in the mode of, or has information, and this one is seeking more, seeking more on the pathway as to her or his journey. Why am I this? Where am I headed? Where do I want to go? And she is finding these answers as well. So the two of them team up quite well. It's very powerful about this, a whole change of concept, ideas, philosophies, understandings, all sorts of stuff moving in for you guys, and not the least of which there's that Wheel of Fortune. And what does that show? Turning the slow wheel of time, and they're at the top of it, and they will be moving off soon. The Wheel of Fortune is usually regarded as a positive omen, denouncing or denoting change, big change, that the galactic energies are bringing you, that a certain cycle of life is about to finish and a new one is evolving. All of these four cards, 1, 2, 3, 4 in particular, are really, well, 5, because there's that one as well, the Action. These are just promoting so much change and growth and awareness, and they bode to me very positively as well. They bode just action and growth and awareness and new direction. Wow, it's really a beautiful start to the reading, and it's going at quite a fast pace. I don't know that we need to take any more out for her, because you can assume whatever you like at whichever part of life you are seeking this newness. For some of you, as I said, it could be a new health regime, it could be a new love partner, it could be new knowledge or understanding, it could be new physical fitness, it could be a new career. The world is your oyster, because we're starting at 0. 0 degrees gives us the opportunity to do anything. So for any of you, it's whatever it is that you're seeking for of newness, and you will gain the knowledge in it, you will understand it. Let's see what the partner is to the Wheel of Fortune, or the clarifier. Obstacles and challenges, and that's the 5 of Wands. This is creativity in essentiality, and it can be associated with our careers, because the wands are careers, right? Or they're our creative resource, and that's often where our careers take us. Some of you could be experiencing big cyclical changes in and around your career. Now, if you're not working, these are the things that take place of your career. So your hobbies or your passions, what becomes sort of philanthropic in your life. So these could be the things that you give to in life. If these changes are coming, they can be very slow. Some of you may have been wanting to have a promotion or try a different career or move to a different department or get a pay rise. Or some of you might even still be in your beginning aspects of career and be studying at university and think, wait a minute, I'll go on to do a postgraduate degree, or wait a minute, I'm now going to change from finance and do related to climate change, right? So what this means to me, the obstacles and challenges, just means that part of the change that's coming is a bit slow, or is changing direction, possibly as you don't expect it. See, that's 10. And that's the 5, so we're halfway through it. It's very connected because of the numbering system as well. So I don't think these are serious, and the 5 is never long lasting. It's very short termed, but it might be part of the overall connection of the bigger picture that you need to take into consideration. 5 can also mean that there are competitors around, or people that are vying for attention at the same time. So if some of you are thinking of, changing jobs or looking for new careers, there could be other people who are doing the same thing. So it will pay you to pay attention and to put your best foot forward and represent yourself in the best way possible. Let's see what another one might be for them. And I will shuffle this now. So the Wheel of Fortune and the 5 of Wands. What is another card here? The Wheel of Fortune traditionally just says get ready for big changes. They are on their way. It is cyclical. It is part of your life's history. It can be slow in evolution, and usually they're positive. Beautiful. This is like the Ace of Wands. So you're going to be ignited about it. And again, this is back in the creative section. So the desires, the things that get your heart going. She's becoming very passionate about something that's perhaps creative or dear to her heart. Now that seems to flow very nicely in with this lot as well. You know, you can become passionate when you're on a new beginning and when you're seeking to find yourself and you are putting yourself foremost in the picture, and that life is taking you on this journey of unknown direction and of unknown whereabouts, like where did it originate from and how did I get to this place where I'm changing so much, where I'm looking for so much newness, where I thought I wouldn't have been 5 years ago. So all of these seem to go quite nicely hand in hand. There's nothing negative about any of it. It's very positive flowing. I do feel that you guys have just got so much action happening in April. Some of it may surprise you. I'm thinking some you may not have been contemplating or anticipating. This one here, the last one of the Rider-Waite, the Morgan Greer, is the 6 of Pentacles. It's a beautiful card. It never looks that exciting to me, but it really is rather magnificent because it tells us about the cycles of life and that life is never standing still. It is always in the movement mode. We are constantly evolving and moving. Sometimes we are in need of receiving, and sometimes we are the givers in life. But when the balance is meted out well, that's how life evolves and that's how we move. So regardless of whether you receive this month or you're the giver, know that both of them are equally as powerful and as important as the other. So because this is a general reading, some of you will be receiving, and this can possibly be a gift of money. It can be a small inheritance or a windfall. It can be, like a lotto win. It can be shares paying a dividend. It might be that you have had something for sale for a while and it finally sells. And for some of you, it might be a car and you go out and then replace the car with a new one. Some of you might be giving to help others because you're in a place of being able to. It doesn't just have to be money. It can be your emotional support. It can be your emotional time, being ready and able to help someone else who is really needy. And when you do that, when you give, so too shall you receive. And it's that simple. So let's see what a clarifier is for that. Going back to the John Holland here. Clarifier for the 6 of Pentacles, please. We get another 6, and that is temptation, which is the Devil card. So, no, I'm not sure how he fits into that. I think we'll have to have another clarifier, at least one anyhow. You know, temptation can be, it's generally very it's about the self quite often when we are out of balance. And in fact, that's really interesting because the card behind talks so much about being in balance. And when we are in balance, we receive and we give at the same time. But when the Devil card is around, we are out of balance, and we often are, we can be taking, okay? So usually it is associated with things like obsessions. We can go out and we overshop, or we over drink or smoke, or over binge on food or relationships. We can become obsessed with something. But the Devil also can represent being out of balance in terms of someone else obsessing about us or mistreating us in a bad way, so not giving us our due respects. And there can be abuse around when this card pops out. Now it's interesting, this has just popped out for Cancer's reading as well. I just did a massively long reading for Cancer, and then there was no sound to it. It was a very, very bizarre 40 minutes actually. There was a whole lot of weird stuff going on in the house. So he's come out again. I'm not sure how he relates to that. I don't see a good tie-in, except for the fact that the scales are so important about balance. So perhaps it's saying to you that if you don't create the balance and keep harmony in things, and don't perhaps give, like give back to someone or something, then you won't receive. It might be that, and it's just saying to you, you know, keep the balance. Let's see what these cards are going to say. I'll move the John Holland aside and come to the Energy Oracle. And speaking of the Cancer reading, just remember too to check your moon and rising signs, guys, and see what's in store there. Unfortunately, if your moon or rising is Cancer, I've now got to do the whole reading again. So that will be a little way off yet. So this is for Gemini. Clarify for this temptation and the 6 of Pentacles, please. So we're not really getting a good flow with those two. Well, I just said, didn't I? You know, if you don't give and give back, and giving is appreciation in many ways, then you wouldn't receive. You see, these ones flow so much better. When we give and receive, we are in appreciation of someone else's energy or time or money, and we're also in appreciation of our own things in life. So I'm not sure how he flung himself in the middle there. He does seem quite odd, juxtaposed. For some of you, it will relate. There'll be something in the background that is slightly out of balance. We need to learn to appreciate the shadow sides of ourselves as well, so that we can bring ourselves back into balance. Possibly there's that. I'm just trying to go with the flow here. I notice he has his hand on a sort of a key in the background, and part of it is being lit up. And he has this key on his chest as well. I don't know. I'm thinking it's more a message about having the appreciation and having the understanding that someone around you might be in need, and they might be in need of your help and time. And it might be that this month you are able to do that one way or another. Some of you might even be able to financially help someone out. As I said before, some of you will be receiving. And if you are receiving, do have this great appreciation, because the more you appreciate and say your thanks, the more in turn you'll receive. So Just one more, because he's annoying me, that devil card, the temptation. He can represent Capricorn too, so it could be that a Capricorn person is involved in this. And interestingly enough, that's the Pentacles sign, which is the earth sign. So there could be a Capricorn placed into here somehow. Perhaps you have to support or help out this person who's not yourself. This might be someone you know who is in this state, who really needs some balance brought into their life, and they may show appreciation for it in the end through your help. That could be another scenario too. So keep an eye out for people who are in need of your help or support in one way or another through this month of April. So just one last clarifier. Yeah, and there's the red back again. So we're definitely getting a message from him, even though I said he slipped in somehow. We've also got red here. The base chakra is about money. It's also about our homes. It's about our security. It's about our foundations, our tribal energy, so families, DNA lineage. It's about how we spend our money, whether we're obsessed with it or overspending, or it's also about our jobs and our security and our careers as well. So there's a whole bunch of stuff going on in here that I do think that if we took the time, there's deeper messages behind the cards. But I think we've integrated enough into it to give you enough options to think about. And as I say, for each and every one of you, this is going to perhaps mean a different perspective. Some of you will give, some of you will receive. Some of you, this is about your homes. It could be someone who lives in your home that needs help or support. It could be a family member. Some of you might have financial difficulties and you may receive some. And it might be because you were tempted into something, that you have overspent or you have shortened your capacity for money. Some of you could have troubles in this area of your body. This is down at this area through here. Some of you might have a problem with a person in your life who is not treating you fairly or your money. There might be a bit of abuse going on there. Some of you might be quietly calling for help and needing more balance. But most of all, the appreciation, whichever you are, the giver or the receiver, will be very, very powerful for you as the month goes on. But overall, Gemini, I think you have a really lovely reading. It's got some good messages in there. Boy, you guys have an active, busy month with all this, movement, newness, beginnings. Like the aces represent new beginnings as well, because they're the number 1. So you had the 0, the 1, the 2. All of this was movement, new beginnings, opportunities, action with the double message with the 2 horses. For some of you, horses may even be in the reading somehow. Some of you might be involved in horses. You might have pets. Either you live close to horses or you pass by them daily, or some of you might be involved in horses, whether it be race horses or their pets that you have. So horses may play a role as well for some of you. And because it's such an interesting reading, I would really love to see or read your comments that you leave behind for me, because there's so much going on in here. Like, it's a tight little reading, but it's packed full of stuff.